Welcome to Straight Talk, featuring Greg Middleton. We continue with our series on political and social consciousness. Today's subject is titled, I Don't Walk in Your Shoes. Here is Greg.
Peace and blessings to each and every one of you from our Divine Father. When I write an essay and record it as a video project, I'm always conscious of stepping on someone's toes. The truth is always the best serum, even though it does not always feel that way. Therefore, I try to follow up an episode that might appear to be negative with one that at least have the intent of being positive, regardless as to how one may take it. And if you're going to step out on the stage of life, you might as well step all the way out there. And the best way to do that is to walk the straight line of truth, which is not always the most popular choice. People seem to be afraid of the truth because a lie is much more convenient to hide behind. We put on our facades and go about our business, and no one appears to be the wiser. But when you step out and live truthfully, which entails walking the walk rather than just talking the talk, people look at you as though you are weird. Dare try being you and see what kind of looks that get you from those who love living in hiding. I don't walk in your shoes, nor do you walk in mine. From my perspective, I'd rather respect your right to be you in hopes that you would do the same. Regardless, my life does not hinge solely upon your acceptance. To no man am I accountable. To God alone, I must answer for everything that goes on through this mortal soul. Even making such a statement could rattle the cages of some. It's not that I don't care, but that I refuse to allow others to place me in their box. I have no idea what they might be hiding in their boxes. Currently, we appear to be going through a very hypersensitive stage of our existence. Technology has made it possible for us to be right up close in each other's face, much more than it was in the past. And there was a time when the major media moguls controlled our communication abilities. Today, anyone can have a voice and say what they want to say, regardless of the truth. A racist can speak boldly about their biasness and hatred of people unlike them. Various faiths and beliefs are free to say and worship as they prefer, daring you to challenge them. It's as though anything goes. Now, a world without boundaries could be a very dangerous place to live. Somehow, we must learn to agree upon some mutual standards of living. Otherwise, we'll just destroy each other, just for the sake of being who and what we dare to be. Since I don't walk in your shoes, and more than likely I do not fully understand you, I may need to grow larger ears and develop a willingness to listen to your story. If your story is based upon something inherently positive for the good, then regardless of whether I like it, agree with it, or not, I must respect your stand. However, if your stand is destructive and harmful to others, I have no obligation to accept something that is destructive to life and being. Things such as hatred, bigotry, spite, envy, anger, fear, jealousy, mean-spiritedness, fiction, destruction, and the like are all a cancer to the fabric of life. Life cannot sustain itself when it's being torn apart. Though you are free to do or act as such, I'm not obligated to agree with you. My option is to shake the dust off my sandals and move on, wishing you well, in peace. Not to engage in such would only pull us both down into the thickets. I make no secret about my belief in God. I accept the standards laid out in the teachings of Christ. For those who do not believe in the same, they're free not to do so. In this world, there are polar opposites, the yin and the yang, if you might. Every atom have both positive and negative parts. Existence was made that way. The Creator had his reasons for doing so. Therefore, even though I might not walk in your shoes, I must allow you the freedom to exercise your free will that was granted to you by our mutual Creator. Now, with that stated, my commitment is to stand on the side of my faith and belief in righteousness. This is the standard set by my God for me. If you have different standards, then I'm to leave you in peace. What does it mean to walk a mile in each other's shoes? Should people be free to do anything they like, regardless of the cost? Think about it. We exist on a planet surrounded by each other. Since we cannot fly to a distant planet and surround ourselves by people who are only like us, we must find a way to coexist in each other's space. We must find common ground that we are willing to accept. Otherwise, there would be constant chaos, which would lead to death. Life would cease to exist as we know it. Now, is destruction inevitable? I refuse to accept that as such a conclusion because my faith is in a power that does all things for the good. Now, I realize the opposite power exists, but I am not bound by it. Even though I'm temporarily in this world, this is not my eternal home. Knowing that this is my truth, I live beyond my temporary confinements and by the eternal laws of existence. Though we are of this world, we are not from this world. As spirit beings, during this time of hyperactive social consciousness, we must learn to carve out our own safety zone boundaries, at least until we can figure things out. Now, if you're so stuck only on yourself, peace is rendered obsolete. If one party must always be right, then compassion will run thin. So what are our best options? God spelled out a plan and measures of coexistence, but if you do not believe in God or in the same God, then such things would be irrelevant to you. That would bring destruction back as the only end game. Are we that shallow that we are doomed to our own self-destruction because of our stubbornness? And if not, then what? If not God, then who? Without our Creator, what? Oh, we all don't believe the same. Well, I realize I don't walk in your shoes, and neither do you in mine. So what are our alternatives? Anything other than truth is destined for destruction. God is truth. God is love. God is peace. God is harmony. God is. Everything that came into being did so through God, even if it's not accepted by mankind as so. And that being the case, ultimately, we are not in control. Though we think we have the power to control life and beings, that is far from the truth. God is. God is the great I am. God is said to laugh at our plans because he knows exactly what's getting ready to come down the pipeline, when the best we can do is speculate and hope for the best. Now try it as far and as deep as you like, but it'll always come back to the source of our existence, which is God. And should you choose to be a destructive force in God's creation, you will reap what you sow. There's no need to hate or try to change those who are against God. God made them and He will sell things with them in the end. Rest assured, we have a King of Kings who sat high above all things of creation. The shoes I wear were made for me by my maker. Though they are not a perfect fit, at least not yet, I'm growing into them. I'm beginning to see what God sees. It's no longer necessary for me to know what God knows because a single grain of sand does not rule the entire beach. My thoughts and ways can't compare with God's. As high as the heavens are from the earth, so are God's thoughts higher than mine. And so are His ways much higher than all of ours put together. Though I might not walk in your shoes, and I may not totally understand why you are as you are, perhaps you might find it difficult to understand me as well. However, I'm commanded to love you regardless. I can love a person while disliking what the person does. I wasn't commanded to like everyone, only to love them.
Let's fly away, just you and me. I need a little break from the city. It's been so long since we've been gone. I wanna feel that summer feel, but I don't wanna go if you ain't with me. Let's make a home, be all alone.
To love someone has nothing to do with liking them. Love comes directly from God. Matter of fact, love is God and God is love. The same is true about the truth and all the other different characteristics of God. Therefore, I would like to leave each of you with a sense of hope. It's not a matter of being right or wrong, but instead of trying to find ways to coexist on our single habitation of planet Earth. No one says it will be easy to accomplish. When has there ever been peace throughout the land? That is our challenge in one word, fulfilling rather than the alternative, which is to accept defeat and death of life as we know it. And this death I refer to is the death of humanity. As bad as it might appear on the surface, most human beings are not destructive to the point of destroying our planet. We're better at being self-destructive rather than destroying anything about a planet. Besides, it's not ours to destroy because it belongs to Elohim. And until God says it's finished, He will not allow mankind to destroy what He made. I place my complete faith and trust in God, not mankind. So let's draw this one to a close. Here's my final verdict. I don't walk in your shoes and neither do you in mine. I would hope we all could find a way to find common ground, that we could be free to be ourselves without destroying the integrity of others. God tells us to love one another, but it appears that that bar might be too high for us to reach. Could we just settle for not killing each other long enough to find out what we can agree with? To do that, we must base our stands upon truth, even if we do not agree with each other. To find truth, we might need to drop our veil of selfishness and really listen to each other. Do your homework seeking the truth. God says, seeking you will find, asking it will be given to you, knocking the doors of truth will be open to you. And once you know truth, it will set you free from the bondage of ignorance. I may not know you, understand you, or even like you, but I'm commanded to love you. Therefore, I'm willing to drop my veil and open my heart. If others are willing to do the same, then at least we have a good place to start. To Almighty God, please be the glory. Selah.